Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Friday, September the 25th. We're going to talk about a healthy heart today. And you know what? We have a doctor who knows an awful lot about keeping us healthy and that ticker inside of us working properly. Dr. Anand Chakalingam, welcome back to Radio Friends, Doctor.
Thanks so much for inviting me, Paul.
You know, we have talked with you over the years about keeping our heart healthy. You've talked to us and told us how important it is to smile, how important it is to have a positive attitude. Today, you wanted to deal with the family of heart attack victims, right?
Correct.
So, how do we do that?
We've been practicing medicine, I would say, for thousands of years, focusing on the individual patient. In the last 100 years, we have recognized that families with heart disease patients have a higher risk of themselves getting heart disease.
Why
but
is
we
that?
haven't quantified it adequately. Much of that reason is likely genetics. So the genes we inherit are predisposing us to more risk for heart disease. And some of the risk also comes from the same environment and the lifestyle that other family members end up sustaining.
Okay, but would you say, like, no one in my family has had a heart attack? Does that mean that I am in a better position to not suffer a heart attack?
Yes.
Because no one that I know of in my family, my mother, my father, my grandparents, never had a heart attack.
You're a very lucky man.
But that doesn't mean that I couldn't have a heart attack.
Yes, it is still possible, but your risk is, compared to the rest of people who have family with heart disease, your risk is significantly lower. Let me give you some numbers. If you have a sibling, the risk is 40% higher. If you have a mother with heart disease, the risk is 70. Father is 75%. Chance
So
of
if-
heart attack goes up so much.
If I had a father that had a heart attack or heart disease, my risk factor would go up 75%.
Yes.
A mother, 70%,
60 to 70%, yes.
and a sibling, 40%.
So to say risk of heart disease in the family, we need a male below the age of 55, a woman below the age of 65 to have a heart disease, to say they impart risk to other family members. The reason is if they are older and have heart disease, we tend to attribute it just to the aging itself. So this is how we have used to calculate these numbers. And if you have both parents with heart disease, the risk can be somewhere between 300 to 600%.
Oh my goodness.
And if
How-
you have an identical twin with heart disease, the risk is 10 times higher for you to have heart disease. What I'm trying to say is genes can play a significant role. As cardiologists, we've been knowing this and looking at this, but it's been hard for us to impact other family members.
How far back do you go in family history? Do you go back to the grandparents and
We try
great-grandparents?
to ask, but many times if you go back 2 generations, people do not recognize exactly what happened and it's not that clear, the medical records. So now people are becoming more aware, and in the future, we'll be having more clear answers as to how the family history evolved. And sometimes people are adopted and they just don't know their family history. But what I want to emphasize today is recognizing if there is a family member with a heart disease, this is a call to change not only the individual and his lifestyle, but also of his children, grandchildren. If they are 10 years, 15 years old, this is the time to make subtle changes that may totally course correct and avoid problems several decades down the road. So this should be the encouraging starting point of focus for everybody in the family. That's what I'm inviting people to think about.
Okay, so let's say if both your mother and your father had heart disease, what are you going to do? What can you do to make sure that you don't fall into that same statistic?
Genes, I said, is a big problem. Epigenetics is I would say, a novel field where we are understanding so much about how the genes manifest. So even if somebody has a risk for heart disease, that risk can be reduced by simple lifestyle tools. Like we say, smiling some more, exercising 30 minutes a day, eating right, avoiding processed foods, avoiding empty sugars. This sort of healthy lifestyle will have a significant role in determining which genes manifest. It'll end up being the healthier genes manifest, thereby, despite reaching that same age as that parent, the children and grandchildren can bypass and avoid that heart disease in their life.
What is the most important thing that you can do?
If you ask me, I'm going to say smile.
Smiling?
20
Okay.
times an hour.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
The reason is, even if you look at epigenetic studies, reducing stress becomes a big deal. And I was just recently looking, children end up smiling 30 times an hour. So average adults smile only 1 or 2 times an hour. Happy adults smile 3 times an hour. For me, my request to you is find a reason to smile 20 times.
I think I've
every hour.
smiled at least 20 or 30 times talking to you here today.
So that is my aim.
So, but you know, the thing that we have to watch out for, we're living in such a divided country right now, and stress is so high, no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on. I find myself, at times, I'm watching the news, and I will get so angry and aggravated with the things that I'm seeing that I have to turn it off to keep from going ballistic. That's not a good way to feel, is it?
Exactly. See, we have this cardiac wellness program now for the last 5 years called Heartful Living.
Yeah.
Now it's available on www.highlifejourney.org. And if you go in there and listen to the recordings, you will see that most of my patients have turned off their television, whichever their political affiliation is. Staying away from the news is a big help to your own heart.
Well, I understand that, but you have to keep informed of what's going on, but just do it in moderation. But I have found myself turning it off because I couldn't handle it anymore. And then when I do that, I think of you and I start smiling and thinking, oh, I got to smile, and that's gonna help the reaction.
One program we have started now with my clinic is Smile, which is several members involved in lifestyle enhancement. So what I'm inviting my patients is to list their children and their grandchildren and ask them to also participate in High Life.
Okay.
Anybody above the age of 10 can engage in improving their better lifestyle so that we can avoid problems.
Give us that website again.
www.highlifejourney.org.
Okay, that's HILIFE Journey, JOURNEY.org. All right? Dr. Anand Chockalingam, thank you so much for coming by. I'm smiling, and you're smiling too. How many times an hour?
20, every hour.
All right, every hour. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu, and put a smile on it too. Bye-bye.